Hey, how you doing, people? This is the Duggystone podcast, going out across the planet on all the major platforms. If you want to know a bit more about me or a bit about what we also do at Duggystone Radio, dead easy. Just go to duggystoneradio.com or just do this. Alexa, open internet radio, and he goes. Got an amazing guest on today, fabulous individual, and she's doing some great work. Very energetic, as you will get, very passionate about what she's trying to achieve. And I wanted to have on the show because I think you're someone you need to go and investigate, someone you need to go and find more about, and someone you need to keep your eye on in 2020. Anyway, let's get on with the show.
The Duggystone Show.
Cleaning bikes and vehicles. Everyone loves the results, not everyone loves the effort. Clean My Ride Combined Bike Wash and Degreaser gives you the best of both worlds. Amazing cleaning and degreasing with very little effort. Its non-streak, non-caustic formula eats dirt, dissolves grease, and is safe on all surfaces. Clean My Ride Combined Bike Wash Degreaser. Simply spray, wait, and wash. Available online at clean-myride.com or find us on Facebook at Clean My Ride UK. Sponsors of Duggystone Radio and Bikers Night.
The Duggystone Show.
Right, like I say, people, we've got an amazing guest on today, and podcasts in 2020, depending when you listen to it. We're going to be getting some more exciting guests on, but I'm going to let her introduce herself. So, Carla, introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Nicola Creed. I am a Scottish-based life and business coach, radio presenter, and all-round just lover of helping and encouraging people.
Brilliant. I thought you were going to say all-round good egg, because that's what I was going to say. All-round good egg. And it's great.
Well, I'll take that.
And and thanks for coming on the show, because like I said to you before, getting a band back together, I've not done many podcasts for a while because my podcasts have been my radio shows and my business shows and things like that. So podcasting. And so I thought, who can I get on? We met a few weeks ago online, connected, had a conversation, burnt each other's ears off, and I thought, you know what? This would make an amazing podcast to talk to someone. Yeah. So I'll show for him shortly if I can, and tell us a bit about what you do and who you are and where you come from, and then we'll take it from there.
Yeah, so I'm based in Scotland. I have run my academy for nearly 8 years, come from a modelling background, went on to win a big Scottish beauty pageant in 2012, and then got into radio, which so I'm a huge music fan and like to talk, as you will discover, as you already know, and just love to help people. I'm all about helping people. I've went through some real traumatic events in my life, various things, bullying. I have been minutes away from losing my life. I lost 7 pints of blood, had to get life-saving surgery at the age of 21, and I moved to Manchester actually, and kind of went off the rails a bit, and just made mistakes along the way, and I wouldn't change any of it now because it's put me in the position that I'm in now. I am saving and changing lives on a daily basis. Through my coaching, I have helped numerous suicidal clients who have been ready to end it all. After working with me for a short period of time, they're not only surviving but thriving and loving their life, and helping people in business, and just be happier. My daughter, who's 4, said to me the other day, "Mummy, I love what you do. You help people be happy." So, as cheesy as it sounds, that's where I get my kicks. Just helping people, because now there's so many people riddled with anxiety and depression, especially men. There's various factors involved, like social media and that whole kind of mentality of men should show their feelings and all that. So I'm really passionate about turning that around, and that's the long and short of it.
Yeah, brilliant. Hopefully we'll dig a bit deeper. But you're right. I think there's a lot of pressure, especially. I think there's pressure on both men and women, before we get shot down by other people. We know there's other genders and all the rest of it. Let's just keep it as men for this purpose of this. Men and women and everything in between, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
So there's always been a lot of pressure on females, women for their appearance, the body shape, etc. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, a lot of females have a negative view of how they look. I have this conversation. My wife doesn't listen to my podcast, so it doesn't matter. But my wife has this conversation all the time, and I say, "Will you stop beating yourself up? I think you're gorgeous. You're my wife. I think you're lovely. Yeah. But you know what I mean? And everyone else sees, it's about the person. And I think there's society and TV and advertising and magazines and all the rest of it have put this on, and the birth of social media has like really changed that. And if you look at the Generation Z in it, Generation Z, the new mutants, they've only ever known the internet, haven't they? They've been bombarded with Snapchat and Instagram images and all these beautiful people. Give us a story. And I think what's happened now, it's gone more towards lads. Lads are more. If I look at my youngest lad compared to me when I was growing up, their attention to the clothing they're wearing, their hairstyles, everything, you think, wow, something's really changing in a generation. There's a big, massive change, and I think that puts immense pressure on men, young boys, young men, young lads about how they appear and how they look, and they've got these sex symbols, for one of it, but these influencers that they look and go, I'm not as good looking as him or her, and it's a massive pressure for them, isn't it?
Absolutely, it's that constant comparison, and you're right. Social media has really ramped that up. And my son's, he's 13 next month, and I hadn't allowed him to actually go on social media. He's just recently been on, but I have drummed it into him. And when I go on the BBC and talk about mental health, and it's one of the things that I use in my academy as well, because not only kids are doing it, like adults are doing it too. It's constant comparison, and what they don't realise is that they're comparing themselves and their lives and their looks to things that a lot of the time is not real. I mean, people talk about their wins a lot, but you don't know what's going on behind closed doors. And there's mums have been on the phone to me in tears, their daughter, who's like maybe 14, 15, absolutely gorgeous, but they're talking about changing their appearance, getting plastic surgery and things like that. It's scary. So it's about really sort of educating parents of the dangers of social media for a start, and also educating our young and just everyone across the board that it's not about looks. It's about what's on the inside. And I teach my students and my clients to not compare themselves, to try not to compare themselves to other people, and to not validate. So it's not about how many likes and how many followers you get, and not basing your worth and your validation on strangers. Almost, it's like the only validation you need is actually from yourself, and that's where so many people are going wrong. It's that constant comparison.
Yeah, I fully agree with it. And as you know, people might not know, but I do some speaking for a charity, Employability UK. And one of the things I say in there is about, I have to be careful because I can't swear in schools, but they lose their minds even. I go, I don't know how to do it, but I have to put a little chip inside in my head that goes,
I have to do it myself. I work in schools and colleges.
You can't.
I get it.
And I go, I nearly said it then. And you see the teacher's eyes glaze, oh no, he's going to swear. Because I'm a prolific swearer. I really struggle with not swearing. Anyway, and I say to them, listen, you're watching all this, and they laugh, because I say to them, listen, you're around the room now, let's have this right. You're all looking at everyone else, you're all putting yourselves down, you're all amazing people, da-di-da-di-da, whatever I'm talking about. And I say, right, let's have it right. All the girls in the room, right? All the girls in the room. How many of you got up this morning, took a picture of yourself in bed with no makeup on, hair all over the place, looked like death, going, don't look great today, babes. I says, but you're looking at someone else who's doing that, who's doing a little video as if they've just got out of bed, and they've probably spent about 2 hours plastering themselves with crap to make themselves look great. I says, and how many people are going out tonight? How many people go home tonight and take a picture of the beans on toast they're going to eat and go, wow, look at that mega meal? No, but you're out taking pictures of some fancy meal, or the other, lads stood out, sat in a car that's not theirs with a wad of money that they borrowed off someone, I've took out of the bank and put back in again, going, look at me, I'm blinged up, and it's all, it's rubbish. And it frustrates me. And the other analogy I use is, you've got Buckingham Palace, haven't you? One of the world famous building in the world. Yeah, if you show that to anyone on the planet, they'd know what it was. But there's bins around the back, and there's pipe work and sewage around the back of the building somewhere. There's crap somewhere, but you just see this beautiful facade, and you think that's Buckingham Palace. But there's plaster's crumbling. Do you know what I mean? The Queen goes
Yeah.
goes to the loo, you know, she does that. But they're just, and I think that's, but it's like they've been they're brainwashed to this.
Absolutely, without a doubt.
And if they
It's
don't,
scary, isn't it?
yeah, and if they don't get more than 3 likes on a post, they take it down. I mean, come on,
Absolutely.
what are you doing?
It's crazy. It's crazy. And I'm so glad that there's people like you and I who are educating people. I work in schools and colleges as well. And it's just, you know, I love the fact that the sort of stigma with mental health and stuff is changing and we're doing more about it. And we're talking more in Scotland, the suicide rate in young people. It's so sad. And I'm so passionate about changing that and breaking the stigma and educating that it's okay to talk up. And what that comparison, social media has played a huge part. And I know the campaigns, there's things being done to try and sort of regulate that more. I think ultimately it boils down to our schools and at home as parents, you know, making that stance and educating our kids, because it's a lot of adults, a lot of parents that I've dealt with, they know that their kids are online, but because they come from a time where they didn't really know social media or clocked how it worked, they're not aware of the danger their kids are actually, you know, they're getting involved with. So it's about educating everyone, really. But it's just, it makes me so sad that our kids from such a young age, the anxiety levels and depression is just one of the debates that I was on recently on the BBC was it was a guy, it was some professor guy from like, he was a lot older than me, and the debate was in Scotland, the Scottish Society for Kids in Scotland done research over the past 3 years, and the statistics were found that our kids in Scotland, I don't know about your neck of the woods, but in Scotland our kids are more miserable and more unhappy now than they've ever been, and that's through times of like war and ration and food and all that. And so the debate was this guy was saying it was a load of rubbish, but it was facts, and I backed that up with, you know, why are our kids so unhappy now? And social media has played a huge part in that. Back in the day when, you know, when I was getting bullied before social media, it was like you would get called names, or you would get a slap about in the playground. But nowadays, there's no escaping from it. It's trolls online, and I mean, that's why I'm so passionate about my academy. When I bring one of the girls, I just started back a couple of weeks ago, one of the girls that I had in 15, 16 years of age, absolutely drop dead gorgeous, stunning to look at, and beautiful on the inside as well, but had not one single bit of confidence or self-esteem because she's been bullied all her life. And that's what happened to me as well. But it's just, I create a safe environment for people just to let us down, celebrate being beautiful inside and on the outside, and or being ambitious or standing out or not having to feel like you've got to fit in with the crowd. I'm so passionate about it, as you can tell. I can talk about it for hours, and I'm doing all I can now to get the message out there and try and help people, because I feel like we're at crisis point now.
Yeah, we are, and what bothers me about it as well is we that sort of our generation and above have know the world before the social media and the bullying, the trolling, because you used to be able to, if you had crap at school, you could go, as soon as you got on the school bus or you walked home, you'd got away from it, hadn't you? Nowadays they can't get away with it, so away from it, and it's what's going to happen in the next generation, for the generation of kids that, do you know what I mean? They're not aware of anything before it. Well, or will they be more prepared because they've experienced it? I don't know. I mean, my son was bullied, but not bullied that way. Actually, physically bullied and what have you at school. It's awful. It's horrible as a parent to see it, and it knocks the confidence. And then they make they might make different decisions when they get older. And do you know what I mean? It's frightening.
It's frustrating.
I just don't. I think people bully other people because they want to get it away from them, and they go to someone else.
There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. Like my sons went through it. I went through it terribly for a long time. In fact, I still get it sometimes online now, but I'm so used to it now. And the thing is that what I educate my kids and my students and my clients with is that people that actually go out their way to be negative towards you, whether that may, people sometimes don't know, people think that you need to get beat up to be bullied, and that's not always the case. There's different levels of bullying. So name calling, talking about somebody behind their back, I mean, even things like reality TV, there's people that have been involved with reality TV that have taken their own lives off the back of people talking about their looks online. There's so many different levels of bullying, but the people that are actually going out of their way to be negative towards somebody, they're actually really suffering themselves. So when I work in schools and colleges, I actually work on bullying prevention. So the people that are actually going out their way to be nasty and cause the pain, they're actually really suffering themselves, because people that go out their way to cause someone else upset and harm, they're not happy. You don't get happy, balanced people going out their way to cause other people misery. So the people that are actually doing the bullying are actually really struggling themselves. So I'm trying to do the whole bullying prevention thing to stop it happening in the first place. But yeah, what I educate my kids and my students and clients is that when you're being attacked, whatever it may be, it's very important that you try. It's very difficult, but it's important that you try not to take it personally, and you sort of have to think outside of the box. Actually, they're doing this because they're not happy in themselves, and that kind of takes edge off it a bit as well.
Yeah, and it really amazes me, because obviously this is a podcast, people can't see you, and you're a really attractive lady. You're a very you're a nice person as well. I've not met you, but spoke to you, so I can pick the vibes up. And it astounds me that seriously, it astounds me that someone like yourself could get bullied. Yeah,
oh my God, really, like you wouldn't believe it.
No, it really astounds me. So I think it's a great message for the girls and the guys out there that consider themselves not to be attractive. Yeah, that someone like yourself can be bullied and still being bullied now. And obviously, when we do the podcast and whatever, I'll put some links on, and people can see. And does that make sense? So if someone like yourself who comes over now because of what you've been through, very confident, you look right, you're presented right, you've done lots of stuff, because they'll say it's all right for you, but you've been through it as well. Does that make sense? I think people might see a disconnect, but then they'll go, hang on a minute, how did she get bullied? And it doesn't stack up, does it?
Yeah, that sounds. I know exactly what you're saying. I remember back in 2012, when I won my crown, I won a big Scottish beauty pageant, and I couldn't believe that I'd won it. And I promised that if I won that, I would use that as a platform to continually try and help people. Use that as a platform to help people not be discouraged by the negativity from others and all that kind of stuff. But when I won that crown, that should have been the happiest time of my life. I won that on the Friday, and then I went onto social media on the Monday, and the people who were in that beauty pageant that didn't win it, bearing in mind for the previous 30 years of my life, it was like kind of physical bullying, name calling, but that was my first experience of online bullying. People that I didn't even know, they didn't know me. And one of the girls that didn't win actually dug out a picture of me from 10 years prior when I had just had my son. I wasn't looking my best. That's an understatement. She dug out this old picture of me and plastered it all over social media in Scotland and said, "This is your winner." And I got absolutely slated by so many people that I didn't even know. And I literally cried like
I'm laughing because I'm not laughing, but yeah, sorry, go on, carry on.
Yeah, I was devastated because it hurts. But then, don't get me wrong, I'm much better now. Like for a long time, that really traumatized me. I felt like I couldn't put myself out there online, because it was just, if I put myself out there, it was making myself super vulnerable and to be attacked by people that didn't know me. And what I realised, like, I've done a lot of work on myself the past year, because I've got such a strong message to help people. And it's not about me. I mean, I've done the whole being in the limelight thing. It's not about that for me. I've got a message to give. I genuinely want to help people. And it's been coming back to haunt me the past couple of years. Like, why are you shying away? Why are you giving these people the power for you not to shine your light, not put yourself out there? You've got a message to give that can help so many people. I started seeing people that I actually really looked up to on Instagram, who were really, really genuinely nice people, and they had a great heart, and they wanted just to help people. And they, like, literally not a bad bone in their body, and they were getting bullied and they were getting trolled. And I thought, do you know what? It doesn't matter how good a person you are, you're going to get it. And it's just a reflection of people that are not happy in their lives. Your keyboard warriors want to chat. They get a little kick out of trying to bring you down. And do you know what? Like, I've had to make peace with that, and I've been putting myself out there. The first live video that I did, I was absolutely terrified, and I thought, do you know what, I need to overcome that, because I know that I can help so many more people. but it can happen to anybody. And anybody that's listening to this that's had any grief or is going to come up against it, if you're remotely ambitious, it can be anything at all. It's just so important to recognise that the person that's causing the harm and the negativity, they're the ones that are suffering, and they're the ones that actually really need the help. And it's so important just to try not to take that personally and just keep doing you. And the only validation that you need is from yourself. At the end of the night, as long as you're cool with you, that's all that matters.
Yeah, that is, and the more we can get that over to people. So currently, then we talked about the, but we know, I think we know what we're talking about now. We're talking about the bullying online and physical and all the rest of it. So what? Because we had a long conversation in the week. Who do you currently? So you talked about your academy. So tell us a little bit about that, the academy, and what you actually do and who you work with.
Won the Crown, I started the academy. It was initially just to help young girls who wanted to get into modelling, and then very quickly it developed into confidence coaching. Every person that came through my doors, the mums would be in tears. They would be saying, "Oh my God, my daughter's so much more confident and happy as a result of seeing you." So I thought, there's more in this. There's something more that I can do with this. And through my own personal traumatic events, I got heavily into psychology and just self-development and all that kind of stuff as a life coach, and thought, you know what, I don't want to restrict this to just young ladies anymore. I want to open this up so that I can just help anybody, whether it's any age, gender, from any background. I want to be able to help everybody. I know that I had it in me to do that. And then a couple of years ago, one of my neighbours, actually, I met her in the supermarket, and she just looked terrible. I'm very good at picking up energy. I'm an empath, and I knew that there was something really wrong with her, and it turned out she was suicidal. She broke down crying, and I done a few techniques on her, spent an hour and a half coaching her, and she literally went from feeling suicidal, hopeless, to wanting to end it all, to after an hour and a half with me, she was like, I cannot believe the change in me. I feel so much more empowered. I don't know what you've done, but you need to get this out. Like, I don't have any money to pay you, but is there anything that I can do? And she offered to do a video testimonial for me, and I shared that on social media, and that was when things started going a bit crazy for me. I was headhunted, and I very quickly started coaching and helping high-end Scottish professional footballers who were suicidal. Then after a very short period of time working with me, they were not only surviving but thriving. And then off the back of that, the media got hold of that, and that went crazy. And now I'm speaking, and I spoke to you earlier on, I'm cover of magazines and doing things. And you know, it's genuinely a certain intention that I want to try and help as many people as I can with my message of hope and encouragement. Various tools and techniques that I use, very unique, that work. It's that rapid transformational therapy that I use, so it doesn't need to take a long time. I literally go in and I reprogram the mind, and I don't know, you know, sometimes now I think back and I think, oh, how people say, how are you doing that? And it's just all the trauma and the pain and the experiences that I've had in my life. I know that it was all for something. It was all meant to happen, because it's put me in the position now to help so many people. And doing things like this with you today, you know, I can do one-to-one coaching all day long, but I wanted to this year to really sort of get my message out there to a wider audience. So yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at right now.
Brilliant. Sounds good. So what's your plans over the next few months? Have you got anything's mapped out? I keep turning. I'm used to doing a radio show and turning the music down. I keep turning the slider down on your voice, so I apologise. I'll just put you back up again. So whatever. Just tell us, you know, what's one of the highlights for this year? Anything you're looking forward to?
Absolutely. I'm so excited. I've got so a week on Saturday, the 1st of February in Glasgow, I'm putting on a huge day that's going to change and save lives, 2020 Success Master Plan. I'm super excited about that. We've got one of the Capaldi brothers playing. We've got speakers from all over the UK. That's going to be a day that's really going to make a huge impact. I'm in the process of creating my own online course, so that people that need to hear this message they don't necessarily have to see me or speak to me. They can get access to it. I've been booked to speak all over the UK. I'm all over the place speaking, and I am determined to get my book finished this year as well. So I feel like I'm living someone else's life at the moment. It's all very surreal, but I'm on a mission to help as many people as I can from the right place for the right reasons, and it seems to be working out pretty well.
Brilliant. Yeah, it does, and I think you're right. You have to come from that place of doing it for the right reason. Yes, everybody needs to earn money. Everyone needs to put food on the table. Everyone needs to eat and live. And but if you come, and this is what I say on my business shows, if you come from a point of doing something because you're passionate about it, then you're more likely to succeed. Because as soon as you hit one of those trolls or some bad vibes or something, you'll stop. And the fact that you're passionate about what you do makes you carry on. So it's the right place to come from, and then hopefully you become successful. On the result of that is becoming successful and being financially stable on the back of something you really love doing, which is fantastic, isn't it?
Exactly.
So.
Exactly, and that's the conversation that I just had with the owner of the magazine that I'm going to be working with. That people that go in, whether it's business, anything in life, the mistake that some people make, because I'm a business coach as well, so the mistake that some people make is that things should be happening overnight, and it's almost a sense of entitlement, but actually it takes a long time, and it's about building up that credibility and the reputation, and it's not about going into things, what's in this for me, or it's that coming from a place of giving, what can I do to help, to serve, and that's how the success that I've had across all areas of life. It's because I've never went into it thinking what is in this for me. It's about what can I give back. Don't get me wrong, some people use that as an opportunity to take advantage of your good nature, but then you weed out the bad eggs and you end up with the good eggs, and then that's when the magic happens. So anyone listening to this that's frustrated, and I know that there will be because I deal with them on a daily basis through my coaching, you need to just have integrity and be real, be honest, and be prepared for some hard work, and always do it from the right place, and that's when the magic happens.
Brilliant. Hand my microphone off. Brilliant, that. And I think that's probably a good place to end. So where can people find you if they want some more information, need some help, or anything you've said resonates with them?
Yeah, so I'm in the process of just updating my website, but you can get me, I believe I'm on the first page on Google for just coaching, Nicola Creed Academy on Instagram, Nicola Creed and the Nicola Creed Coaching Academy on Facebook, and if anyone wants to email me to have a chat, it's nicolaCreed@gmail.com.
That's wonderful. Thanks very much for that. And
You're
I'll get all
welcome.
I'll get all the links off you. If you can send them over to me, and I'll put them on the show notes for people so they can, because people are like, they might not be able to find it, and it makes it a lot easier. But it's been absolutely wonderful to catch up with you, and I'm looking forward to meeting up later on in the year and
absolutely
watching your journey. So thanks very
Likewise. Much. You're very welcome. Cheers, Kurt.
The Duggystone Show.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for spending the time with us, Nicole. Loved it. So like I say, go and check her out. All the show notes will be links to social media, etc., etc. Please go and check her out. And thanks for Clean My Ride for sponsoring this podcast. If you want to sponsor a podcast, just contact us. Send us an email, contact@Duggystone Radio, DUGGYSTONE. It's not as expensive you think. We have a platform 24/7 called Duggystone Radio. Just say, Alexa, open internet radio. We also have one for Down Under. So if you just say, Alexa, open Freaking Global, you'll get us. Until next time, please subscribe to the podcast wherever you're listening to it. And I'm out of here. See ya.